Hello, fellow UX pros. Now let's talk about controlling risks if you're running out of design options. You can still control risks with protective or descriptive measures. They are not as cool as mitigating by design, but as I wrote, running out of design options is not cool either. And it's also not the end of your efforts. If you need to come up with protective measures, the focus often goes away from the elegant solution towards the not too much in the way solution. Also an area where you can definitely show what you can do. Now, this is also an area which can deteriorate very quickly when left unattended by the usability engineer. Just remember the cumbersome login procedures you still may encounter. A classic example for patching things up after the problem already occurred. So, what happened after the Empire found out that the risks were not as well controlled as they have been hoping for? Well, they did what every organization does in such a situation. They started a series of workshops. Now, some of the measures, well, I'm just showing here. So the turbo lasers have been replaced by quad lasers, which can cover a bigger firing arc. And there was also a deflector shield installed, something a lot of people said they should have done from the beginning. Now, these are classical protective measures. Next to this, you can also apply some descriptive measures. What can that be? Well, of course, improved training. Well, the gunners at the turbo lasers definitely had to improve their aim. You can also add instruction for use or improve it with all the things you found out now in the meantime. So you see the last point here, well, close the space rodent protection grid. We're coming to that in a minute. And you can also apply industry standards like the galactic envelope. Now, let's look at the root cause of the destruction of the first Deathstar. Well, it was actually that the space rodent protection grid wasn't closed. Now, you may ask yourself, well, space rodents, how should that be impressive? Now, I show you here an example of a 27th century space rodent, so they're not to be underestimated. Here, the actions which have been taken to improve the handling and reduce the risks coming out of open space rodent protection grids. So there was a label added, there was an open-close sensor built in, and an auto-engaging lock mechanism for the ventilation shafts. Things you may be familiar with in your own context. You remember episode 6? Even these measures were still not good enough. And well, that's actually also the reason why in the current risk management standard, there is no limit for acceptable risk. The basic concept is that you go as low as possible with your risks so that, well, our patients do not end up like the Deathstar.